Missing children, stolen babies in hospitals is nothing new. We've heard it over and over and over again. We're exhausted. Who's doing it? We don't know. But there is a solution. Missing Children Kenya has done quite a lot in terms of getting help to these families and getting these kids reunited to their homes. Today's show takes an in-depth look at missing children, why it's done, and what we as Kenyans can do about it. We start right now with giving you an overview of stolen babies and what happens to them. Are they given up for adoption? Are they raised by the person who stole them? It's a very, very multi-layered story, and we want you guys to stay tuned and connect with us. First, we start with a story of 1,000 missing children. Where do they go? Take a look. Welcome back, everybody. We have an exclusive show this morning that seeks, of course, to demystify, seek some answers when it comes to missing children. Children that are taken from their parents, children that are sold off, children that are given up for adoption, or even sometimes some of these thieves keep the children for themselves. We all remember the story that just happened recently of the missing twin saga, and of course the reunion as well. Seth Olale covered that story for NTV. Here's a look back at exactly what unfolded.
Job Ouko, the father of the stolen twin baby Prince Ouko, has still not come to terms with the unfortunate disappearance of his 2-week-old son that occurred Sunday morning at the Kenyatta National Hospital. Ouko and his relatives are still trying to understand how this woman, captured on CCTV cameras, disappeared with their loved one in broad daylight without a trace.
I've gone there about the security. I've talked to the CEO, Madam Koros. She's saying nothing. And I know very well that the lady was having a patient there.
The 25-year-old proud father of twins Prince Ouko and Brighton Ouko arrived with his ailing wife at around 2 a.m. Sunday morning for emergency treatment. However, they were forced to stay in the cold with their 2-week-old children for up to 10 hours after the doctor, who he recalls as Mwikali, refused to attend to his wife until the room they were in was cleaned by hospital staff.
This afternoon, I've gone there so that I can assess whether the complaint was being approved and even if the management got the information about the same. Well, the madam who was there said he doesn't know any information about that information that I gave, that complaint that I wrote. He doesn't have any information about the same.
At 11:30 a.m., his wife's condition worsened and Ouko requested 2 women to hold the twins as he took her ailing spouse to the ward number 1D on first floor. About 7 minutes later, one of the women who he had left the twins with traced Ouko to the ward to alert him that the other woman fled with one of the twins named Prince Ouko.
My wife has stayed there from 2 and up to 11, that's 10 hours actually. So it means that the doctor was even corroding so that I can stay there. The more I stay, the more I get tired. So you see, I'm even a human being. If I get tired, I can say, my friend who is here, you have a patient there, I know, you see what is happening, please care for me. Yes, we are human beings. I'm not using fuel.
Ouko also recalls how the said doctor on duty questioned why he had lodged a formal complaint at the hospital's information desk over the delay in getting his wife treated, yet he had already been assigned a doctor. Even then, the family is not happy with the manner in which the grievance is being handled. KNH, through a statement, has acknowledged that the incident indeed took place and that it has availed the CCTV footage to the police, who have launched a manhunt for the suspect, who is said to have escaped via motorcycle.
What they say is that I should wait for the experts to come so that they can retrieve the camera. I now ask myself a question. What are these experts? Are they coming from France? Are they coming from England? Because so far I haven't received anybody saying that the experts are here. So nobody has come, nothing is being done.
The management of the hospital has also identified the woman who reported the incident to the father of the twins as Lucy Kwamboka, who is being held by the police. The family, in the meantime, is appealing to members of the public to help reunite them with their 2-week-old baby, who was born at the same facility on January 28th. The country's largest referral facility, which is right behind me, was expected by Job Ouko's family to be a place of refuge. However, that has now turned to be a nightmare, even as Job Ouko's wife and Prince Ouko's other twin still admitted at this particular facility. Seth Olale, NTV, Nairobi.
In 2011, I covered a story as a reporter of Zawadi. Zawadi was expecting twins. Her and her husband were very excited until she was told that one of her twins died. She believed that one of her babies was stolen. That story has stayed with me for years. I think about it all the time. And when I hear a story about the missing twin saga, I'm reminded of the many, many Kenyans who have had to go through the same ordeal and never ever had justice. So we asked our very own reporter, Seth Olale, who's a dad, he's an uncle, he's a friend, how this story affected him. So here is that interview. Take a look.
I had a lot of interest in this particular story because it was God sent. Number one, I remember the first time I heard about it, I'd gone to Muthaiga police station to cover Nandi Hills MP Alfred Keter, who had been detained by the police. And so when I was leaving the police station, that these two gentlemen who came to me and just told me, "Excuse me, sir," because I was holding an NTV mic, and they told me, "Can we just speak to you?" Then I just decided to give them audience, and they told me, "There's this story that is on social media," and I remember it was on Facebook. And they told me, "Are you aware about it?" And I said, "No." And they said, "This is a story that they believe happened." And so I told them, "How can I follow it up?" And so they said they even have a contact. So they happened to give me the contact of the dad. And that was at the Muthaiga police station. So I left, came back to the office. I did my normal story about Alfred Keter. So the next day, I'd forgotten about it. But at around in the afternoon, I saw on social media the story was also developing. So I said, "But are these two gentlemen who contacted me about it? Why can't I just give it a try?" Then we have a colleague of ours, Omache, who's also had some connection with the dad of the twins. And so I said, "Why not? This is human interest. Why not give it a try?" And successfully, I was able to talk to the father. And he told me he's still at Kenyatta National Hospital. And so I told him, "Please, would you just give us an interview of what happened?" And so we went to Kenyatta National Hospital, just outside the hospital, and the dad came and we did an interview. And I thought that that is just one of the human interest stories that I knew that deserve to see the light of the bulletin by the end of the day. And so that is how we got into this story. I got so passionate about it because it being babies, you know, a child and especially an infant cannot speak on their own. And so we are the only representatives, and to me it was like God had actually sent me to this particular story to speak on behalf of the voiceless infants or the voiceless child who had been stolen. And then, you know, the magnitude of the story, these are twins, yeah? And you can just imagine how the parents feel about it after the kind of weight they have gone through over the past 10 or so months. And so I decided to just follow up this story, because even after the interview, the next day, the happiest news ever to have ever happened in one of the stories I've been doing over the last 6 years at NTV, just realizing that the baby was found. And immediately we rushed to Kawangware. We were able to get the baby. It was taken to the father, reunited to the mother at KNH. And it was one of the most successful pieces I've ever done in terms of, you know what, reaction and impact. And that was just immediate impact to the family.
Very happy, and the most important thing now, I can say that my wife, she's the most happiest woman around. Yes, now you can even say that today she can be able to get a discharge because she has recovered by seeing the sun.
And we didn't leave it that. I was keen enough to get to know how the investigations will be done. I was able to get contacts from the DCI, that is the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, the particular officer who was handling this particular case. I made sure I have his contact because I wanted to know how the suspect is going to be arrested and taken to court eventually. And so apart from that, also tried to contact some human rights groups, child protection groups, and I got some welfare organizations also. I got some contact, and all this was just for the interest of this particular story. And so look at it from the time the arrest was done, and now we have court proceedings in court. I've made sure that each and every day, at least, we just update viewers and we give a highlight of what's happening, because according to the detectives, this is not just a one incident thing. They believe that there's a syndicate, a baby theft syndicate that is involved. And just look, we have someone who's just come and complained that they believe that the main suspect, who is Edina Kemunto, they believe that that is the same person who stole their baby, that is in 2015, at the same facility, that is the Kenyatta Referral Hospital. And so that aside, just on Monday, we had another incident where a 4-month-old baby was stolen from Kirinaga and was found in Tarakaniti. And luckily the baby was also found, but the suspects are being held. And so when these things start coming up, you just realize that it is maybe part of what the detectives are saying, part of a wider scheme. And so I believe that a child is a very important person and being, and special in a sense that, these are infants, they can't talk for themselves. And I will just quote one of the judges, actually the principal magistrate, KNH, who was dealing with this case. He said, he told the suspect that you have a right to bail, cash bail, you have a right to bond, but a child also has a right, has their own right. And so for this reason, I'm going to allow you to be detained further for more investigations to be done. And so for me, highlighting this particular story, I just wish that I would reveal to the society what's happening. And who knows, there are many more maybe who've gone through this ordeal, and some of them never found their babies. And maybe this is a time for us to really come out and try and, unravel and unearth what that has been happening in terms of child stealing. God blessed me with twins, both boys, and that was last year, 1st of November 2017. And when I heard about this story, I had a cold chill in my spine, because as a father, as a young father of twins, I know how it feels to embrace these very precious beings right in your arms and in your hands once they have been born, and even before that. You can just imagine the kind of pain, not even necessarily pain, just the kind of perseverance, especially the mom went through during all the 9 months of expectancy. And so it is not easy, and I was really touched, because I imagined that this could happen to me. You see, I'm fortunate enough maybe to afford a medical facility in a private hospital, maybe where there's more security beefed up and all that. But I just imagined if I was Job Ouko, the parent who lost the twin boy, how would I feel? That would be devastating. What would I tell the mother? Because trust me, it is the most painful thing to lose a child in your life. It is the most painful thing. When you see even a child who is sick, you just wish that it is you. I wish it was you who is sick instead. Yeah. So, as a father of twins, that really also contributed to me just taking this story head on. And because I felt the pain, I felt the loss, I felt the vacuum, it can never be the same again. From day one, you are used to having these two being together. They are interconnected in one way or another. They are so loving, they're embracing you, and then you can't even afford to lose one of them. And so I really felt for Job Ouko, I really felt for the mother, I really felt for this family, because I knew that it can happen to anyone. It could happen to me, but just because I have a privilege to access a private facility does not mean that I cannot lose a child. And so that one made me go for it, because let me just tell you, there is something special about twins. It is a special feeling. Of course, there is a burden. The burden is there. You really have to make sure both of them are sleeping, are quiet at some point. Then there's responsibility that comes with childbearing, of course, finances as well as behavioral. But most important thing is to be a role model. And just imagine, you've already set your mind, you're psychologically prepared, you're going to be the twin, the father of twins, or the parent of twins, and then this just comes up. And the tragic part is that you're not sure where this child is being taken. You're not sure if he's going to be taken for some ritual arrangement. You're not sure if he's going to be sold to someone. You're not sure if he's going to be thrown away. So you will never have peace. It is very painful. And speaking on behalf of parents who bear twins, I would say it's a very, you esteem these babies as God sent, because not everyone maybe can have twins, not everyone can bear twins, but it is one of those rare cases. And so you yourself, you feel special, you feel set aside for some purpose. When that is taken away from you, it's very devastating. You see, one of the main issues that came up was about security at Kenyatta National Hospital, which just represents many of the public medical facilities we have in this country. And now there were questions about how could someone just walk in without a baby in some premise and live with a baby without, being confronted or being stopped, being checked and all that. And the reason why we are pointing at KNH is because now another incident reportedly happened in 2015. And so if indeed this is true, that another baby was stolen in 2015 at the same hospital, surely 3 years later, we expect that there are checks and balances to ensure that this does not happen again. But it's the same thing that the Job Boko, the father of the stolen twin, was complaining about, that he expected CCTV backup. We thank God that KNH was able to provide the CCTV, which actually was really instrumental in finding the baby. But again, apart from the CCTV, how can you stop the incident? Because the CCTV will just come later. You may find the baby or you may not find, regardless of whether you have CCTV footage or not. But what mechanisms are there just to ensure that this incident, which once happened in 2015, if it did happen, how can we prevent it from happening in future? And I think there should be really scrutiny, especially in those women and gentlemen who carry babies from hospitals. There should be really check and balances. Everyone should be stopped and interrogated if indeed this particular children or child belongs to them. That is one thing. Another thing is just about, let me just also take the side of the hospital management. And I remember there's a statement that they gave and said, please don't entrust your child to any stranger. And we also want to call upon parents and guardians, when they're taking these children to hospital, don't trust anyone. Just if you must leave your child, just leave whatever you are doing. Just be with the child. When you go to private facilities, when you go to the Aga Khan Hospital, for instance, it's written everywhere, don't leave your child unattended. And I think the public facilities need to stress this point, that not even the hospital staff may be safe enough. Don't leave your child in the ward. Don't leave your child with anyone unattended.
All right, there you have it, everybody. Still taking a look at how we can solve this issue, how we can talk about it. When you see something, say something. Just like that woman in Kawangware, all right? She actually made that call, decided to reunite this baby with her family. So if you're somewhere and you see something odd, if you're sitting somewhere and you see somebody who wasn't pregnant but showed up with a baby in very weird circumstances, you have to ask questions. You have to alert somebody. You can't just let it go, can you? No. So right now we take a quick break. When we come back, they have something to say, especially those ones in Kawangware. It's really, really interesting. You must stay tuned to find out. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Still talking about the missing children issue, still trying to come up with solutions. On Better Living, we want to urge everyone who's watching, everyone who's active on social media, when you see something, say something, okay? It's just that simple. When you see something weird, when you see something out of place, when, you know, there's something going on in your community around you, say something, raise an alarm. Don't be that person who ignored an issue, because it can go years. So in this third part of Better Living, and of course this exclusive story, we went to Kangware just to find out exactly how the residents of that area feel about this particular saga that we've recently just showed you. Really, people have a lot of opinions, and at the end we're just going to give you guys a solution, because there is one. And there are so many efforts in the country by different organizations ensuring that this becomes a thing of the past. For now, twende kawa manze, tusikie wase wa mtaa wanasema nini. Watch. All right, there you have it. We're almost done, but I have to emphasize that there are organizations around the country that are ensuring that missing children are reunited with their families. Child Welfare Society of Kenya, run by the government, and Missing Children Kenya as well. These individuals are taking photos of these missing children that have been brought to them and posting them on their website. So just log on to social media platforms, or we'll put that link for you so you can go ahead and find out if there's someone in those pictures that you know or you actually can connect with, okay? For right now, we want to say goodbye, but we're going to leave you with some phone numbers, all right? Guys, please memorize these numbers. Please take a look at them, take a screenshot, keep them with you. You never know when you're going to need it. And for those who are doing this, let's just stop. Let's just stop, okay? Every single day is a new day to do something different. If you're involved in a child stealing cartel, if you're involved in some shady business that involves kidnapping, missing children, stop. That's it for me. This story is very close to my heart, and I hope you guys keep spreading the word. We leave you with John Legend, Just Love Me Now. Let's love each other, okay? Bye.